Good morning, everybody. Is today November 5th?
It is, yeah.
This is Sunday morning, November 5th, and we're daylight savings time. We put our clocks back, so we got an extra hour. I do feel like I've been running late, but I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I kind of like it. I like the extra light in the morning. So
Yeah. I know my son will like it because he got an extra hour of sleep. So when he woke up at 5, he was really waking up at 6, but he gets up at 5 for work. Okay, so thank you guys for your questions. Thank you to Linda and Dan. Linda goes through the questions. She knows what's been asked.
exactly. She screens them so we don't like duplicate from our show.
Duplicate, yeah. And
Yeah.
Dan, I guess Dan types them up. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And also want to put another thank you out there to Andrew, who many times does the timestamps for the shows I
Yes.
do with you. So
Yes.
thanks to
Thank you.
Andrew out there. Shout out. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So here's the first question. Why did 31 Democrats vote to keep Santos? 31 Democrats.
Yeah, I saw that, and so what I get from that is, nothing is ever as it seems, and what I get on that is they're trying to hold Santos's feet to the fire. So, for example, not let him get expelled before other ethics committee rulings can come down on his head.
Okay.
So it's like we're not going to give you an easy out. I think they're only a few weeks away now from the ethics board review. So my interpretation for my team is they're trying to hold his feet to the fire and not
because
give
even
him
Jamie Raskin voted no.
Yeah, but I think that's for the reason that there's other things coming down in Congress on Santos's head, like the ethics committee and some other things.
Okay.
And I think, I'm not an expert in politics, but if they let him off or expelled him, I think he'd get out of that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's very interesting. Thank you. Will 45 be kept off our Colorado ballot for 2024?
No, I don't see it. And that's all based on the 14th Amendment, right? That's been all over the news, the 14th Amendment. I know they're going to try, but I
felt like they couldn't. But
I still see 45 on the general election ballot for Colorado. And some of these states, not just Colorado, but I think it will eventually at some point go to the Supreme Court. They'll stop it. So
a lot of people at work have the C disease, quote unquote, C, the letter C.
Pandemic.
What is it?
C-19. COVID.
Is that a form of COVID?
COVID. Okay. That's I think what whoever asked the question is trying not to get demonetized on YouTube. Okay. But now we blew it.
So, that's okay. I've said it before. I
had to tell you, yeah.
And I was lucky I didn't get demonetized, but I think you're just not supposed to give an opinion. But is it making a comeback?
Well, let's put it this way. It's never gone away. It's hundreds of different variants. It'll be with us for another 100 years, but it'll be like the flu. It's gonna keep it mutates like a lot of flu viruses. So it's going to be around, and it will never shut down the whole world again, because now we have the science to stay on top of it with what my team's telling me. So we'll be okay, but it's still around, and you have to be you can't be complacent. You have to be careful.
Yeah. So, okay, great. Is Smartmatic's lawsuit against Fox News going forward? If so, will Murdoch and his anchors testify, and will Fox lose?
So I've read on this before, actually, but I get 100% that Smartmatic voting machine lawsuits going through. I think originally the ask that was $1.7 or $1.9 billion lawsuit, something like that. I've always seen it's going to go through. It does look like some Fox anchors are going to be deposed, whether they testify in court, but I get depositions, and I get it's all going to move forward, and it will settle. It might be 1.2 billion, 1.4 billion by the time it's all said and done. I get it's going to move forward. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Will Biden be reelected in 2024 now that the younger generations are saying they won't vote for him because of what's happening to the Palestinians?
Yeah. I don't have a big concern. Biden will be reelected. You and I have talked about this before. It's going to be a close election. But regarding this question, I still see the paramount issue is Roe v. Wade. It's abortion rights. It's women's reproductive rights.
And gun control for the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but more importantly, I just see women's reproductive rights, abortion rights. That's one of the biggest cogs in the wheel for the GOP, and that's why they'll still see a Biden victory in 2024. Yeah.
Well, Omar, the congresswoman,
Hmm.
she's done a commercial now warning Biden he won't get elected if he continues to stand for Israel. Well, what they're I don't know what else he can do. They're telling him Blinken's over there now talking to
Hmm.
the Palestinian president. They're begging them, give us a reprieve just for a few so they can, but Israel refuses. So I don't know what else he can do.
Well, I see a lot of humanitarian pauses. I don't see
Okay,
a
good.
ceasefire, but I see a lot of like even almost rapid fire humanitarian pauses, a lot of them. So
Okay.
that I think what Israel is going to do politically is say we're not going to do a ceasefire, but we'll do these pauses so we can get aid in, get people out. I do still see hundreds of people moving across the border to Egypt. I read on this like 3, 4 weeks ago, and I saw the Egypt border opening for humanitarian aid and people getting out. We're starting to see hundreds get out now,
Right.
but I see that continuing. So
Awesome. Awesome. Is Putin actually dead? There are rumors that he actually died last week.
I've read on this, and what I get is he's on some form of life support. So he has some real organ failure going on. So whether he's still semi-conscious, but there's something going on with him medically where that
Yes.
last cardiac arrest was very severe, and
And
so
they
he's
don't want anybody to know.
not a doctor, but I don't know if he had such an organ failure that they put him in and out of comatose state. But he's in bad shape. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome.
yeah.
Will unions become more prevalent in the workforce, similar to how it used to be decades past, bringing back pension plans?
Yeah, kind of a multi-layer question. Well, 100% yes. I see a lot of unions coming back, and you look at the success of the UAW strike, SAG-AFTRA. It looks like it'll be settled this week, very
Oh,
quickly here.
yay. Thank you.
My guides were saying on the show that I did that looks like it's coming up either for like initial resolution this week and then maybe signing next week. But yeah, unions are kind of an important part of society just to try
Yeah.
to,
I'm very surprised because back in my day, unions was the thing. You
yeah,
belong as a nurse, you belong to a union, aren't you? And now it's really coming back in full force.
that's true.
The use of AI, will there be a breakthrough soon to treat drug addiction? And will the treatment reverse the damage in the brain due to drug use?
No, there's some confusion there of what AI or artificial intelligence is used for. It's not used for reversing addiction problems. Now,
Right.
CRISPR technology, gene editing for neurological problems over the next number of years, 5, 8 years, big strides using CRISPR gene editing, but artificial intelligence, the only way that will help is in mining what I call large databases of information. So doctors' diagnosis, so you can filter out millions of diagnoses and then see if there's something similar to your diagnosis. But in terms of the actual medical breakthroughs, they'll be in CRISPR, not around AI for this particular malady, if you will. Yeah.
Okay. I'm concerned with the issue of unwanted conservatorship slash guardianships used to keep competent elderly people in nursing homes when they don't need or want to be there. They can request a court hearing, but the faculty dopes them up so bad just before the hearing, they don't know their own name. They can be stuck in there forever. The facility takes ownership of their homes to pay for this care. Then if they get out, they have no place to go. Will something be done about this? Entertainment purposes only, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard of
But
this and I'm a nurse.
yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Oh,
There
you are?
are what I see is that there's going to be large strides or changes made in the courts because whatever's going on right now, the legality of it, it's almost like ironclad. Like once you cross over and become in that legal state, very hard to kind of reverse it. What I do see over the next number of years here is the courts relaxing it a little bit, so it's easier to get out of those legal agreements,
Okay.
and then so that there's more options.
So did
That's why
some of them go into a facility? Maybe they had a little stroke or they had some mobility issues and needed help. And then when they get stronger, they make it so they can't leave.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with somebody signing them over. So a family member or a state or a court signing them over, that it's very hard to get out of.
Okay.
It almost draw a parallel to what was going on with Britney Spears, but it's a separate sort of an issue. But what I do see over the next like 3 years, the courts getting more lenient in terms of what options will be available for somebody to get out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
With AI and CRISPR breakthroughs, will people still need social workers and mental health counselors?
Yeah, 100%. And that gets back to what I call the human touch. So AI and CRISPR technology, they're great technologies, but they'll never replace the human touch.
Right.
So these are tools. CRISPR is a tool, artificial intelligence is a tool, and then they actually augment what humanity can do. Yeah, but the human touch won't
Okay.
go away. Yeah. So
Um, is it possible for bad people to be highly intuitive? Has 45 mainly relied on his intuitive talents, at least until recently?
yeah, well, certainly everybody is intuitive, and
Everybody
there are
is.
millions of highly intuitive people on the planet, and that has no relevance as to whether you're doing bad or good for the world. It's just a matter of that. That's how you take in the information. Now, what you do with it is a whole nother story, right? About your
Right.
life path. Yeah.
Right. Here's an interesting one.
Mhm.
Did the ancient peoples really sing tones to lift up the huge stones for temple structures?
No.
Okay.
So that was all anti-gravity propulsion technology, which only the world is just starting to understand right now. That's the same thing that allows ET ships to move faster than the speed of light. And so anti-gravity propulsion technology is actually very well understood, but it's used to move heavy objects like
Okay.
spaceships. And by the way, it's all based on a rare earth element, which is now classified as 115. And 115 you can only make in a neutron accelerator or something. Yeah, so not to get too technical, but it's this rare earth element now in the periodic table called 115 that is actually the basis of anti-gravity propulsion systems.
Wow.
So,
Cool. What do the guys say about sugar and our health?
oh, sugar. I know it's a sugar in our health. That too much of it is bad for the human system because it's the building blocks like for cancer. So
Right.
a lot of bad cells use it for energy. It's like double and tripling your gas tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sugar, overabundance of sugar, your body can't process it, and cancer cells love sugar. It's
I
energy.
know. I
Yeah,
know. But also a lot of things, salt, etc. You got to be careful.
yeah.
Whenever free will is discussed, I think about victims and their murderers. If there is free will, why does the free will of the murderers win over the free will of the victims? If you say they all have a contract together to experience this, then it's even more confusing. Who would ever agree to get murdered?
Well, whenever I've talked to my team about all this, everybody does lay out their life path before you come down. You lay out the experiences. Everybody's life path interconnects. So if you take any kind of a life experience like a murder, like somebody that's murdered and the murder and the related families and the police and the courts, everybody's interlinked in that whole experience. So these are all life experiences that people agree to come down here for. It may sound odd, but the universe is laid out in a very structured way. And so I always tell people there are no accidents. Even accidents are not accidents.
Right.
So yeah, it's odd, but a lot of times older souls come down to experience more severe traumas.
Right. And
Yeah.
also, um, according to my guides, the worst sin is to take away somebody's free will.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take away someone's right to live, you are condemned. But remember, there's no such thing as death.
It's a continuum of life, right? No birth, no death continuum. Yeah.
Yeah. Will they find a cure for fibromyalgia?
Yeah, I think they're already working on that right now. I know I've read on this on my show a couple of times. CRISPR right now is being used to work on because it's also related, if I recall, to is it OCD disorders as well? I know it's again not a doctor here, but there's certain neurological functions in the brain, and I think for some reason fibromyalgia. They ran some sort of a correlation of that, people that have OCD, and they're using CRISPR technology to work on that. So there's a pathway here within a number of years where they're going to pull it all together. Yeah.
Okay. How about ALS? Have you seen anything coming up for ALS?
There's lots of things now using CRISPR with mice and other types of animals. So yeah, it's interesting. A couple of years ago, my guys were talking about CRISPR technology and Cas9 gene editing, and right now, anybody that's listening right now, you can Google or type in the word CRISPR, spelled CRISPR, because that's abbreviation for a long legal term, or a long medical term. And then you can put in any disease, ALS, whatever it is.
Okay.
And you actually get the latest research, and the company's working on it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Will Judge Aileen Cannon, the judge in Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, be dismissed for incompetency? Or for whatever reason.
Yeah, I do see her getting removed, and I don't think we're more than just even a month or two or a couple of months away from that.
That's what I was feeling too.
Yeah. She's going to get removed, but I always saw there was some federal interaction, like with the federal courts, saying you overstep the bounds, you've got to get removed, or you haven't separated yourself from some other impropriety related to 45, like you're not completely oblivious to everything that went on. Yeah, so a federal court I see stepping in saying you got to remove yourself.
But is it because Jack Smith goes to the higher court?
And whether it's Jack Smith or the people in his department, if there's another federal group there, because I don't know if Jack Smith, because obviously
she's telling him he writes too many pages. She's all pissy about pages. It's like, what?
Yeah, well.
Okay. Will Judge Cannon be successful in delaying the Florida, the same judge, be successful in delaying the Florida stolen documents case after the 2024 election? Till after the
No, but I do see her successful in delaying it by like 4 weeks, by like 1 month. So that means that I don't know if the trial starts at the very beginning of next year or something.
May.
Yeah, so I think she's gonna be able to delay it by a few weeks, but that's about it.
But if she's removed, another judge could come in and say, let's move this thing.
Right, yeah.
About 55, 60 years ago, my brother, sister, and I walked into the woods by our elementary school. It was our time that we did this, it was our only time that we did this. But behind all those trees was a small stream, what looked like a tiny island in a beautiful arched canopy of trees. The rays from the early morning sun made the area look heaven-like, absolutely perfect. Was this just an amazing experience, or did we walk through a portal?
No, I don't get that's a portal. The portal experience is quite different. But what that's coming across to me as from my team is more of an optical illusion. So some sort of an optical effect going on there. Sometimes you see a mirage, looks like water. Something about the optical effects in that area made it look like there was a city out there or something. But yeah, my team's saying it was an optical effect.
That's right. It's just the way it was all set up. Is organized religion going to be a thing of the past? And if so, will we become more spiritual, not religious?
100%.
Yeah. It's happening now.
Yeah, we got decades and decades to go. So if you scroll out another 80, 90, 100 years, organized religion is going to look quite different because of, with a lot of the extraterrestrial influence about the way the universe was created, what's going on. And, there's a lot of things that will be dismantled in terms of organized religion. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is my question. As you know, Ohio's going to vote on some stuff come Tuesday. And
issue one. Issue one. Yeah.
That's what I want to ask about.
Yeah. I get it's going to pass, meaning that looks like they'll uphold abortion rights. I think that's the way you interpret it. Sometimes those issues are written very crafty, like where you vote no, that means yes. This one, I believe, when you vote for it, yes, then you uphold abortion rights. Yeah.
And they try to be sneaky, and they try to make you have to have 60% of people. It doesn't matter. The women are done with this.
Yeah, we've said it before, Roe v. Wade, it's going to get reversed another year and a half out, something like that. But it was kind of a gift to, the Democrats. So,
that's when I said they awoke the sleeping giant.
Right. Well, anyway, enough said. It's just gonna. We said before, it's gonna be a big factor in the election in 2024 across everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going to help. By the way, I just want to just throw out real quick. I have to watch your show, but did you talk about those guys that fatten Justice Thomas pockets? Are they going to have to testify?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Do you see anything coming up this week?
A lot of continuation. Let me separate it. There's a continuation of a lot of events going on, then some new events. So the continuation I see is all the things we're seeing around Gaza Strip and Israel and all that. So a lot more of the humanitarian pauses. I see a lot more aid coming in. I do see, the ground offensive is still going to continue with Israel. This whole offensive is going to last about a year. I've said that before. My guide said Israel's going to be in there and around for a good year. And then the following year, they'll get to a two-state solution. The world will help organize. The two-state,
yeah.
And that's kind of the path we're on right now. It's rather difficult.
It's very hard.
So a lot of that's going on. I also see, and I talked about this on my show, there's an earthquake in the Middle East, or right near the Middle East in Nepal. You and I talked about that 2 weeks ago on the show. So it did happen Friday of this week. But there's still another earthquake coming for that region, and there's still one coming for Europe. So in that area, I want everybody to be very careful. There's some big earthquake activity over the next 7 to 10 days coming up here for that region. So everybody kind of be a little mindful. And the other thing I'll say, and I hate to see these all the time, there's another mass shooting coming up within the week. But this is like in a commercial facility. It's not a school. It looks like it's a commercial facility. So that's like a restaurant, a mall, something of that nature here. And I was doing my show, and that came up at the end. My guide said, you have to say it. And I never like saying that out loud. But so I just be careful, kind of, if you go out, know where the exits are. That's the best advice I can give you. Wherever you go, just kind of know where a fast exit is. Be aware of your surroundings.
It's funny. I do that even at the grocery store.
Yeah. And by the way, we talked about the SAG-AFTRA strike, but I feel like we're on the cusp now of getting that settled, the actor strike finally. So that's good news too. Yeah.
We need new movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, did you see the movie about the movie about the natives that were taken apart by the white man for their land and money?
Although the Martin Scorsese picture.
Did you see it yet?
No, I have not seen it yet. No, I've just seen clips of it. People sent me trailers and clips of it.
My sister said it's really good, but it's like 3 hours long, so I tried it.
Leonardo DiCaprio and all that. Unfortunately, I don't think it did well at the box office, so to speak. I think it was a $200 million flick to make. And I think the first round was like $40 or $50 million in revenue. So I don't know where it's at now, but that was like the first couple of days to a week or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know they enjoyed it because it was a good story. There's a question. It's really weird. Usually do you get anything coming up? And then we have any news from the guides. In the middle, there's another question here.
Okay.
Sterling, when I was in my 20s, I dreamed I was taken to see a very, very ancient book. In the dream, I could read the book fluently, but upon wakening, I couldn't remember what I read or how to read the writings. Is it possible to tell me anything about the book?
Yeah, so that person was experienced what I call an entrance to the Akashic records. So that means that you have an opportunity with working with your guides and angels to read the Akashic records. That's what they were looking at.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you have anything your guides want to share?
Yeah, this week the subject is manifesting. So the messaging is be very, very careful what you focus on in life, because many people that watch this channel are actually very good manifestors. But if you don't watch your thoughts, you bring to you all the things you don't want. And I see that all the time with people. I'll talk with them in sessions. They're wonderful manifestors, but they're focusing every day. I hope this bad thing doesn't happen. I hope that.
I know.
So the message this week is all the manifestors out there, everybody be very clear, concise, and consistent about what you're manifesting. I'll bring it to you much faster.
And my dad, who didn't believe in any of this stuff, had a big fear of stepping on a needle. I don't know why. And sure enough, one day he stepped on a needle, went right through his foot. So be careful what you think, you guys. And catch yourself when you start to because the fear emotion is not good for you either. Don't freak out about Trump or anything. This too shall pass.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I'll throw another second layer on that last question. Many times, people they're very good and proficient at describing maybe 30 ways things are going to go bad for them. They're
Yes.
not about the one way things are going to go really well. That's the core of manifesting clearly. You focus on the love side of the equation, not the fear side.
Yeah. That's very good. Excuse me. I read 48 People last night at Angel Heart. It was so much fun. So, okay. So, thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure getting
I
together. Yeah.
loved your guides and their messages.
A lot of
They
fun.
always tell me to get over myself.
Oh, also, I always mention people need to reach me. Just go to the website sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the book a session tab. And I think there's dates now in February and March that are available.
Okay, because a bunch of people at that thing last night were asking me, certain questions in their life, and I forwarded several to you because I thought you would be the best one.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. I'm very,
Absolutely.
very happy.
All the best and enjoy Sunday, and we'll see you again soon.
And not every place has daylight savings times, right?
Yeah, I think some of the is it the mountain time?
Arizona doesn't.
Yes. Well, I think some part of Arizona doesn't. Yeah. And I think it's Hawaii. I don't think Hawaii goes back and forth. I forget. But, yeah.
You know what? I was shocked. There was a special about people in Hawaii can't afford to live there, the natives, and they're moving to Las Vegas because of the prices. The price is right, but Jesus, that's a hot place to go when
It
you were in
is.
paradise,
And right now, by the way, Vegas is in a lot of chaos because of the whole F1 event, the Formula One event.
Yeah.
So the city had to pump out, I think it was an $80 million venture. Liberty Media Group came in, but they've actually revamped a lot of Las Vegas, including building stands in the Bellagio fountain area. All right now, Vegas is completely overtaken by stadiums and construction for Formula One. Take a look.
I will. When is that supposed to happen?
Within a few days here. I think it's in the month of November.
I'm not going to Vegas.
But it's turned Las Vegas, they said, on its head because of the traffic problems. And you also have the culinary workers on strike right now.
No.
Oh, sure.
Oh my gosh.
So it's really you're talking about going to Vegas.
Because when I go to Vegas, it's not about gambling; it's the delicious food.
Exactly. Well, bring a box lunch.
There you go. All right. Okay,
all righty,
guys. Thank you so
all the
much
best
for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers.